What's up, peeps? Welcome to another episode of Gurney's Projects, and you join me on a lovely sunny Sunday morning here in Norfolk. I'm just on my way to go and pick up a vital component which I picked up at a bargain price for the next project, which I will explain in the next 2 seconds. And this is it. It's an old oil drum that cost a tenner, but it won't be for long because I'm going to turn it into an outside table for the summertime. Summertime. So Nick, what's the plan with this? Well, the plan is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to basically build a timber top, have some fairly sort of say 20mm thick timber. It has to protrude off the side enough for you to get your knees underneath, and obviously it's going to be circular. I'm going to fix it down in 3 places, I should imagine, and that's going to be about it. Obviously we're here in England, so we have to treat all our wood properly for the weather out here because it is bloody awful. So I'm thinking probably like a blowtorch finish with some varnish, like yacht varnish on it to seal it all up properly. I've seen a few versions of these on the internet and I think they look pretty cool. So I'm really looking forward to having this done for the summer next year, and it might keep the missus off my back from buying a new table, but we can only hope. So let's see how we get on. Let's crack on. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is build the timber tabletop. So I've gone down the local hardware store and bought us some timber. I've gone for the 140 wide by 38mm thick pine, and what we're going to do is biscuit join them all together to make a 1250-ish wide plank, and then we're going to cut a 1250 radius. Okay, so to help me get an idea of what I want to be doing and to show you guys, I've jumped on some popular modelling software and thrown together a quick model of the table. Here you can see the barrel underneath, and you can see where the 140 wide planks are all biscuit joined together to form a circular tabletop. I'm going to be fixing the tabletop down with 3 M8 bolts going through into M8 riv nuts in the top of the barrel, and that will secure it. And we're going to go for an umbrella hole in the middle, which will be a bit of a challenge. And also, just for pizzazz, I'm going to add some solar powered LED lights underneath. So let's see how we get on. Here's the drawing from the model we made earlier. It gives you an idea of what we're going to be aiming for. So the overall diameter of the table will be 1250mm, and what we're going to do to achieve this is basically make a large 1250 wide plank and then cut the diameter on. So I've sat down and worked out exactly at 140 wide how many planks we're going to need to create the circle, and basically that's all here. So we're going to need 2 of each plank because it's mirrored. And we're just going to go from there. I'm going to extend this middle one, even though it should be 1250 diameter. I'm just going to do 1290, so another 40mm, just so when we come to cut it, we actually cut the radius in and it will follow around nicely rather than having flat spots. Okay, so let's get our 5 pieces of timber and measure and mark up exactly where we need to cut. So that's everything marked up, all 9 different planks of wood to make the tabletop. So now we've got to do is cut it. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button below your screen and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for more videos in the future. This is all free. So with all the pieces of wood now cut to length, what we need to do is find the center of the middle plank, so then we know where the center of our circular table is going to be. So let's just draw that up and mark it up now. Okay, so the longest length is 1290, so we need to go in the middle of that. So let's go at 645. And then our wood is 140 wide, and that is 70. That will be the center of our table. Okay, so we've laid out 1/2 of the table's worth of planks. And what I've done is I've just marked the center of them all so they all line up as to where they need to be. I have 3 biscuits per joint, basically. So I've got this middle center line here. I'm going to run another line that side and that side. See, I've laid out the planks in a slightly different orientation. So where you've got your grain, where the tree was circular, where the planks were sawn from, you'll find that the wood, when it wants to expand, will expand across its grain, which means it will sort of expand out like this. So what you have to do is alternate those grains across the planks like I've done. That way, when it expands, it won't want to curve the whole table up like a banana. It will sort of straighten itself out. So that's what we want. So what is a biscuit joiner? What does it do and how does it work? Well, this biscuit joiner was lent to me by my dad. So thanks a lot, Dad. Shout out to my dad. It's a way basically of making almost like flat dowels. It's to help all the panels on the tabletop to line up together, so you're going to get one slightly higher than the other and it all matches up uniformly across. So as you can see here, we set ours up so we had a slot in the middle. That's a biscuit. You get 2 different sizes. Well, I've got 2 different sizes in the box. This is a number 20 and you've got a 10, which is slightly narrower. And basically you set the cutter to whatever size it is. On here it's obviously set on 20, but it can be 10. You've got a guard here, so this guard basically sets the height of your slot. So in this case we just went slap bang in the middle, but you could set it a bit shallower and then you could have like 2 biscuits, one above the other, by flipping the wood over. So if I take that off, you can see. So what you do is you butt that up against the wood and then you just push forward and it pushes the cutter out. And obviously depending on what biscuit depth you've selected, it'll push out that far. So once you cut your slot, you obviously do a few of them going along the length of your plank, and then you insert your biscuit, and then on the adjacent plank you have exactly the same slot, same size, same depth down as well, and then you just tap them all together when they're glued, and that holds everything flat and uniform for your tabletop. Great machine, very handy for table building. Let's get these all cut and get these in and get this thing glued together.
Much later.
You join me 24 hours later. Here is our tabletop, all glued and clamped and left overnight and also throughout the day. So now let's get these clamps off and hopefully it will stay as straight as it looks here. Well, it's not absolutely perfect, but for an outside rugged table, I'll take that as level. The next thing we've got to do is mark out a cutting line so we can cut out our circular finish. So the diameter of the table is going to be 1250. So what we need to do is make ourselves a little tool that will help us mark that out. And here is that tool. It's just 2 holes that are the radius, which is 625 apart. And all we're going to do is use this stick and place it in the first smaller hole, which will have a little screw in it, over the centre, which will be there-ish. And then we use our Sharpie, take the lid off, put the nib in that hole, and then just trace round 360 degrees, and that will give us our 1250 diameter table. And now with everything nicely marked out, it's time to use the trusty jigsaw. Well, that was a massive chore, and we've only done half of it so far. So let's use a bit of editing magic and save you guys the laborious task of watching me cut the other half. So for you, it's going to take 1 second to see it finished. For me, it's going to take about 20 minutes. Whew. And just like that, with the power of editing magic, it took a second. In fact, it actually took about 25 minutes. But now we have a complete table. To be honest, if I had a bandsaw and a whole workshop with loads of space and everything, this would have been a lot easier and a lot neater. So now, unfortunately, I need to go around all the edges with my sander and just tidy them all up, make sure they're all straight. Now, I won't bother filming that because you don't want to see that. You know exactly what that is. So what I'll do is I'll come back to you when it's something interesting. For example, I'm going to reinforce this table with some aluminium channel, and I'm going to add a groove for some LED lighting. Wow, that took way longer than I thought it would. It actually took me a couple of hours in the end, using 3 different types of power tools just to get these 3 reinforcing bars into the table. But we got there in the end. I've had to leave them in loose because I don't like the idea of gluing them in when the table is going to want to expand and contract naturally. So they're actually banged in there quite tight into their grooves, and that should be good enough, really. I mean, this is actually the underside of the table, so the barrel will be holding all this in place anyway, so they're not going to fall out or go anywhere. So make sure you come back for episode 2, because I still need to put the groove in here for the LED lights, and the small solar panel box needs to be put in as well for these lights. Also, the center hole for the umbrella needs to go in as well. But more importantly, we're going to be working on the barrel next episode. So with that, basically, we're going to be adding some rib nuts, some drain holes, and just tidying up the thing, making it look nice. If you've liked this episode, please hit the thumbs up, give us a like, and please think about subscribing to the channel. It will help me out, and I really want to get to that magic 1,000 by the end of the year. But I can only do that with your help, so please subscribe. And remember, if it's broken, fix it, and if you need one, make one. I'll see you next time, guys. You take care.